Now we're going to practice writing the conclusion, which is actually the last step, but it's easier to practice before we get to some of the math. So what happens is we'll use this chart below, and you'll be provided this at the test. Now, if you remember, when we first determined what H0 and H1 was, I had mentioned we want to know if it was the claim, because we were going to need to know it later. Well, here's where we need to know it. So what we'll do is look to see which claim we made, H0 or H1, the null or alternative hypothesis, and then we'll, after doing some calculations, we're going to decide that we reject H0 or fail to reject H0. And so based on that, we're going to be writing a final conclusion that starts off with any of these four situations. So in addition to those statements, some sort of starting statement, there's three other things I'm looking for that you include after that statement. First, the type of problem, or whatever population parameter is being discussed, so mu, p, or sigma. Next, I'm really looking for the equality or inequality that's the part of the claim. Is it claimed that it's gone up? And lastly, I'm going to be looking for that population value that's being challenged or possibly supported. So let's look at this example right here. Problem 3a. The current standard deviation of pig weight is 5.7 pounds. Who knows? I made this one up. A farmer claims that the standard deviation has gone up. State the final conclusion. Well, if you remember, when we look back at the problem, we first need to know where the claim was. So as I read the question, it talks about the standard deviation is 5.7 pounds. So that means H0 would be sigma equals 5.7, and so the alternate hypothesis still has to be sigma and 5.7. It says the farmer claims the standard deviation, I'm on the right track, has gone up. So we're going to be using greater than, and I can put that in H1 and list that as my claim. And here we're told that we're going to reject. Later we'll figure out when and how we know if we're going to reject, but here I'm just being told that. So this means that my claim is H1, and I'm going to reject H0. So according to the flow chart, I reply with, the sample data supports the claim that the standard deviation of pig weights has gone up from 5.7 pounds. So like I mentioned, first I'm looking that you have the right starter statement. The sample data supports the claim that. Then I'm looking for you have that population parameter, so I'm looking for the word standard deviation in your statement. Then I'm looking for the equality or inequality. So gone up in this case is our inequality. And then I want to know what value it's gone up from, and in this case 5.7 pounds. Here's another example, 3b. Tom claims that the percent of late homework is 8%. We fail to reject H0. So first I need to know what my claim is. So we're talking about percent is 8%. So that means H0 and H1 would have P equals 0.08 and P something 08. I reread the question and it just says Tom claims that it's 8%. That means the equal to is the claim, and whenever equal to is the claim, then we always put not equal to in H1, and we're told that we fail to reject. So H0 is my claim, I failed to reject H0, and so according to the flow chart, there is not sufficient evidence to warrant rejection of the claim that the percent of late homework is 8%. So I've got the right starter piece, I've got the percent, the equality in this case, and the population value.